We are moving right along through our graphing skills, and you are at now video 1.13, looking at slope-intercept form. And just a cute puppy, of course. Who wouldn't want to look at that and smile? Vocabulary you need. We've spoken about this in class before, but I just want you to have the solid definitions in your notebook. So the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So if we have an xy, we know this is x, we know this is y, and I have a line, draw another line too. Wherever those lines cross the y-axis, that is the y-intercept. So the slope-intercept formula is what you really need to have. And what this is y equals mx plus b, where m stands for the slope of your line, and b represents the y-intercept. So you're always going to have the y and the x remain constant in the formula. It's always just going to be yx when you write the formula. Sometimes you'll have to replace y and x to find a missing slope or a missing y-intercept. But when you are writing the equation of the line, the m and the b will be replaced with values. So let's identify the slope and y-intercept in this equation. What are the slope and y-intercept of the graph of y equals 5x minus 2? Now remember, we have y equals mx plus b. That's our standard slope-intercept formula. And again, m is slope and b is y-intercept. So I just need to see where those pieces are in this equation. And the slope is always going to be the coefficient of the x. So even if this was written as negative 2 plus 5x, the slope is still the coefficient of the x, even though the order is changed in the equation. So my slope is 5, just 5, or 5 over 1. We know that Ninja 1's always there. It's the same thing. And I know that my y-intercept is not just 2, but negative 2, because the formula, if you see, has a positive. So if this is a minus 2, that means that intercept has to be a negative 2. So my y-intercept is negative 2. And that's all we're doing for that equation. And this y-intercept means that the line is going to cross the y-axis at negative 2. So the point will be 0, negative 2. Example 2 is to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So what is an equation of a line with the slope of negative 4/5 and the y-intercept is 7? So again, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to drill this into you. Y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So we're going to write our y equals, I need to fill in the blanks for m, and I need to fill in the blanks for b. Y and x, like I said in the first slide with the definitions, are standard. They don't move, they stay there. So I'm told that the slope is negative 4 over 5, so in front of the x, I'm just going to put a negative 4 over 5. And then I'm told that the y-intercept is 7, and it's a positive 7, so I'm just going to say plus 7 for the y-intercept. So we have our final equation of y equals negative 4/5 x plus 7. And your last example is writing an equation from 2 points. So what equation in slope-intercept form represents the line that passes through the 2 points of 2, 1, and 5, negative 8? And this piece has a couple steps. So I'm missing the slope to write, and I'm missing the y-intercept. So I need to find the slope, and then I need to find the y-intercept. And then once we do all that, we'll get the equation. So we know from a previous lesson how to find the slope from 2 points. We have to use our slope formula, which is the change in y all over the change in x. So I'm going to plug in my x and y values. So y2 is negative 8, y1 is 1, So negative 8 minus 1 all over. X2 is 5, and X1 is 2. So we have negative 8 minus 1 all over 5 minus 2. That equals negative 9 all over 3. So the slope is negative 3. What I need to do now is move that over to y-intercept. And how I can do this is by taking one of my points that I'm given and the slope and plug them in to the y equals mx plus b formula. So I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b because that's the format that I want for my final equation over here. And I'm going to plug in values from either point. You can pick either point. They have x and y values. I replace the x and y. So from this point here, the y value is 1. So I'm going to say 1 equals, well, I know what my slope is. We found it was 3. And then I'm going to plug in the x value from the same point. So 2 plus, and this is what we're looking for, b. We don't know b. So 1 equals negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 plus b. I'm going to solve for b by adding 6 to both sides, and I get 7 equals b. So now I have my y-intercept, which we just found would be, and my slope. So I can plug that back into the equation, and I get y equals our slope of negative 3. I got to put the x there, plus a y-intercept of 7. And that's my final equation. I know it's a lot of steps, but we just have to think about what our missing pieces are and what we know that we can do to put all our pieces together. So for your hot question, please tell me what the equation of a line is with a slope of negative 3 and a y-intercept of 4. Enter that into the Google Doc, and I'll see you tomorrow.